wellness, abundant love, and infinite light rays. I am making this video, my first video, to explain why the channel was called Sri Bhagavan Drishti and why I am also known as Sri Bhagavan Drishti. The name Sri Bhagavan Drishti, well, I'll start with Sri Bhagavan. It derives from the Kali-Santarana Upanishads. The known Upanishads that explains the deepest yogic science on the Maha-mantra, known as the Hare Krishna or the Hare Krishna Maha-mantra. On page 10 in this book by Kushik K, it explains, one who knows the creation, destruction, dissolution, the birth and death of the souls, wisdom and samsara, is to be addressed as Bhagavan. Only someone with great knowledge about the above mentioned principles and aspects can be a great guru to teach the disciple the ultimate way to surpass the age of Kali, because he is well aware of the nature of the limited consciousness, the nature of the world and its primal problem, avidya, ignorance, and also knows the solution, the true ultimate wisdom, vidya. Now, one of the most fascinating things that I love about the Vedas is that the Vedas were masters at preserving the old world chronology, or chronology that traces back to the beginning of this universe and universes that were created, or universal cycles that existed before what we have now. And to shrink it back down to the world that we live in on this plane and inside this universe, the Hindu text describes the lifespans for humans, Pitris, Sanskrit word for forefathers or ghosts, the Devas, a Sanskrit word for the gods or demigods, Manus, which are the progenitors of mankind, which would be our version of Noah, and then Brahma, which is the creator god, who was the first created being within this universe. There's time cycles for all of them. And what's interesting is that the divisions of a year for all of them is based on the same math. A year for each that I mentioned, for the humans, the ghosts, demigods, progenitors of humankind, and Brahma, is based on, a year for them is based on 12 30-day months, which is 360 days. And as we know now, the days now for a year is 365 days, but originally it was 360. That's a whole nother video I'm not going to get into. But these days, right? Each of these days are divided into 12 hours, and the nights are 12 hours. So allow me to shrink y'all down to dust mites, right? I was going to say ants, but I'm going to say dust mites. And I might go smaller than that, because listen, when you understand the time cycle of the gods, or even Brahma, in comparison to how long we live now, it'll make you realize, like, the existence that you know now is nothing, right? For humans, our ages, well, according to the Vedas, the history of humanity is divided up into 4 yugas, which we know as 4 ages now, but it's known as 4 yugas. The yugas are known as chatur-yugas, treta-yugas, dwapara-yugas, and kali-yuga. We are in the kali-yuga now. So in the first beginning age, which is known as the chatur-yuga, that age lasted for 1,728,000 years. Treta Yuga, which was the yuga that happens after that, lasts for 1,296,000 years. Dwapara Yuga, which was the last age where Lord Krishna had lived, that age lasts for approximately 864,000 years. The current age we're in now, known as the Kali Yuga, lasts for only 432,000 years. Now, in this age, humans have a maximum amount of years that they can live, which is 120 years. And as you can see, we're no longer living average to 120 years. We're like at 70 to 80 years now, right? But this is just for humans in this age. You know, I'll make another video going into deeper, like during Chatur Yuga, we were living up to 100,000 years, right? In Treta Yuga, 10,000, Dwapara Yuga, 1,000. In this age, we're just 100. So now check game. All the cycles that I mentioned, the 4 yugas, right? Chatur Yuga, 1,728,000 years. Treta Yuga, 1,296,000 years. Dwapara Yuga, 864,000 years. Kali Yuga, 432,000 years. 1,000 of those cycles, meaning all that chronology I mentioned, those times I mentioned, right? 1,000 of those cycles, meaning it has to happen 1,000 times, is 12 hours of Brahma's day, the creator God. Only 12 hours. So 12 hours of his day, right? 12 hours of his day. It's 4,320,000,000 years. That's crazy, right? Right? We are microscopic organisms in comparison. Not even that. You see what I'm saying? Because the 4 yugas that I mentioned totals out to 4,320,000 years. 1,000 will make it 4,320,000 years, right? So to further explain the lifespan of Brahma, right? We already covered 12 hours of Brahma, which is 4,320,000,000 solar years, which is 1,000 chatur-yugas, the 4 yugas as I mentioned. Well, that's just the daytime. The nighttime is equivalent in terms of duration to the daytime. So 24 hours of Brahma would be 8,640,000,000 solar years. Now, 30 days, 30 of those days, which is 1 month of Brahma, is 259,200,000,000 solar years. All right, that's 1 month. And so 12 months make a year. So 12 months or a year of Brahma is 3,110,400,000,000 years. All right. Now, mind you, that's just 1 year. So how many years of that would be if Brahma was 50 years old? In fact, Brahma is 50 years old now. It's known as a parārdha. Parārdha, right? So 50 years of Brahma is 155,520,000,000,000 years. And that's his 50 years. So Brahma's halfway through his life right now. He's going into his 51st year. In fact, he's in his 51st year, according to the Vedas, right? So according to the Vedas, Brahma lives for 100 years. So how much is 100 years? Which is 2 parārdhas. So 100 years of Brahma is 311,040,000,000,000 years. Now keep in mind that the duration of this universe is based on Brahma's life, meaning after when Brahma finishes his life cycle, the universe goes into an unmanifested state for approximately the same amount of years that Lord Brahma lived. which is 311 trillion 40 billion years, which would mean the total amount for a complete time of existence in its manifested state and unmanifested state is 622 trillion 80 billion years. And according to the Vedas, right, we are on the seventh breath of Mahavishnu, known as Narayanaya. So every time Vishnu exhales, right, universes are created. They come out of the pores of Vishnu, right? So if Vishnu's on his seventh breath, right, and a complete universal cycle is 622 trillion 80 billion years, that would make the Vedas 4 quadrillion years old. But it don't stop there.